morning, and welcome to a little bit of makeup and a whole lot of Jesus. So today we're going to be spending, well, every Thursday, we're going to be spending about 45 minutes together, putting on our makeup and spending a little time together enjoying Jesus and learning a memory verse. So that is what we are going to do. Our foundation verse for this podcast is Psalm 119, verse 11. I have hidden your word in my heart that I might not sin against you. And then all of our verses are going to be coming from the Word in Color coloring book. So this gives you an opportunity to kind of journal by coloring through our first season of Bible verses. And all of those verses are going to come from the Word in Color coloring book. So make sure that you pick up your copy so that you can color your way through with us. And then typically on Wednesday, we'll do a kind of a review video that'll show the coloring page that I did. And if you'd like to show yours, I would love to see how yours turned out because I'm sure it will look so much different than mine did. All right, so we're going to review our verses that we had last week. So last week, we sort of had a repeat verse a little bit. Our verse last week was from 1 Peter 1:25, and that was the word of God endures, or the word of the Lord endures forever. And so that was a part of the first verse that we did in episode 1, which was the grass withers and the flowers fall, but the word of the Lord endures forever. So it's just kind of the second part of that verse. Now this week, we're going to be doing a new verse. And our verse this week is going to come from Joshua. We've done, I think, just one other verse from Joshua. So as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. And that's Joshua 24:15. So let me get that off the screen. We're going to get that scrolling across the bottom. There we go. So you'll see that while we're putting our makeup on today. And then let me get us going over here. All right. I think we're all good to go now. I'm trying a little music in the background, little mood music. See how you like that? I hope it's not too distracting for you. It was a new feature that the platform added, and so I thought we'd give it a try. All right, so we are going to jump in. Today, our theme is going to be a spunky lavender, which is just kind of a way of saying almost fuchsia, but not quite. So we're going to call it spunky lavender. Now, you can achieve this look with any color scheme that you would like. You're just going to need a light, a medium, and a dark. And in today's case, I'm actually going to be using a little bit of a shimmer. The third color is really more of a shimmer glitter topper. So you can choose to do that. Or if you want to leave it a little more casual, a little more everyday, you can just not do the glitter topper. So always options, ways to add or subtract to the look. So today we're going to be starting with our Fenty Beauty. This is the Pro Filter Mattifying Primer. And we're just going to give that a little bit of shake. And then we're going to do one pump and then maybe just a tidge more. This will do our whole face. Get that going between the fingers. And you're going to start by applying that to your trouble areas first. So for me, that's going to start in the center of the face. Now, what the primer does for you, the primer is going to smooth out fine lines and wrinkles, any differences in texture in your face. And it is also going to help your foundation to last longer. And in this case, because I'm using a mattifying primer, this is also going to help to control oil. So for me, if you're like me with combo oily skin, this is definitely something that you want. And so we're just going to start out at the center of the face and work our way out. I also like to get that right around the edges of the lips. That will keep your lipstick from bleeding out. And then just help your liner and lipstick to just kind of stay in place a little bit better. All right, so we are going to move on to our concealer. I'm going to be using the Bye Bye Under Eye. This is in shade 11. This is a light nude. It doesn't take a whole lot of this one. I will warn you, I'm kind of to the bottom of this tube. I really need another one. So we're just going to use a little ribbon. Ooh, if I can get it out neatly.
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
Oh, sorry. Siri thinks I'm talking to him. All right. Okay, that's a little bit much, but there you go. This concealer does better when it is warmed up to your body temperature, so it can blend out smoothly. So we're just going to add that to the primary area first. Oh my goodness, that is... Okay, don't use that much. We're going to add that to that primary area first. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is why we keep a tissue in our lap. Anything you need to wipe off, you've got something right there. Kind of like when you cook and you got a dish towel ready for you. Yep, same kind of thing. So we're just going to blend that out a little bit with our finger, not tugging, just gently blending. And we're going to let that sit for a second and warm up to our body temperature. And then while that's doing that, you want to have a damp beauty blender. So I'm actually using a Beauty Blender one. Absolutely love this beauty blender. I think I've told this story before, but the first couple times I used it dry. Don't do that. It does not. So sorry. It does not. The pores aren't quite the same. So get it damp. You will see a tremendous difference in the performance of this. Saw this at convention and was so super excited. So we're going to be using the pointy end of this to blend out our concealer. Oh, now you can hear that music in the background. What do you think about that? Oh, good morning. I see some of you joining me now. And the answer is no. I still haven't figured out how to talk back to you in the chat. But if you ask your question in there, I can see it. And so I will answer your question as we go along. Good morning. And yes, you're welcome. All right. For our foundation today, once you got that kind of blended out, I'm using this to conceal redness I've got, and then I'm kind of using it as an eyeshadow primer. I got redness up the center, so we're just hitting all that. I'm going to be using the Fenty. This is the Pro Filter Soft Matte, and I am in the shade 185. You want to give that a couple of shakes. Let that mix up nicely. And we're just going to use partial pumps, so about this much for every section of face that we're doing. We're going to start out in the center, kind of using a dabbing, swooshing motion there. All right. Then we're going to use another little partial pump. Cover one side of the face over here. And again, using kind of a dabbing. We're not just kind of tapping. There we go. Want to make sure you get that all the way back to that hairline there so we don't have any ending spots. You want this to blend in seamlessly. There we go. Now, Fenty is part of the foundation event that we have going on right now. So if you're watching this video after the fact, this may not be the case. This is what is happening right now at this particular time that this video is being made. But come in. We will do a shade match for you. We can even do a little dram for you so you can take the foundation home, see how it performs under your lighting, with your touch, with your equipment or tools that you have. And then, come back and purchase the foundation if you love it. I think you will. Many different foundations in the store. Not every, but many different foundations in the stores you can do that with. So our last one is going to be on the forehead. Oh, and then also don't forget to activate in your app the 10 times the points. That is such a big deal right now. I know for some people they have like a different shade in the summer than I know I do. A different shade in the summer than they do in the winter time. So, and then they kind of mix in between of that, spring and fall. So this is a perfect time to stock up and get that 10 times the points on that foundation, especially right now, stepping into winter and all that. So just a beautiful opportunity that we have right now. Also, if there's some foundation that you wanted to try, great time to do that. I know some foundations work better for my skin because I have combo. Some foundations work better in the summertime. Some foundations work better in the wintertime when my skin gets a little bit drier. So good time to stock up on all those little kind of things. All right, and that includes BB and CC creams as well. So if you don't like a full or medium coverage foundation, you could go with a BB or CC as well and still take advantage of that 10 times points. All right, so now we are going to be switching over to our setting powder. I like the Long Time No Shine from Lancome. Very fine mill, also has great properties for controlling oil. Just sets really, really nice. In the under eye area, we're going to be going a little bit heavy. That way we've got something to dust off and I'm getting to the bottom of it, so it's getting a little hard to get out. So we're going to set it a little heavy underneath the eye so that when we do our eyeshadow, we've got some space for brushing off to get any fallout that might have happened. Alrighty. This comes with a puff inside of the container. So we're just going to use that. I do over the concealer that I put up on the eyelid. I cover that over that too. It helps my eyeshadow last a little bit longer and to not crease. Those are all good things. All right, and evidently it is time for me to get a new Long Time No Shine because I'm struggling a little bit today. So if you're like me and you like to use, what is that saying they had for some ad campaign was good to the last drop. I think that was like Folgers. So yeah, I think that particular thing applies to my setting powder as well. All right. And just making sure we're going to cover the whole face here. Kind of a pressing, blurring motion. Every place you added that concealer or the foundation, you want to make sure you cover that with the setting powder. And yes, we are now to the place where I'm going to need to get another one. All right. There we go. Onward to the contouring. So I started using this last week, I think it was. Totally enjoying this. So using a little bit different. I'm going to be using the NARS. This is the bronzer. This is the Laguna 2, which is the original. Beautiful color. A little bit cooler than what I had been using. So kind of like that. We're going to be using, I believe this is actually a foundation brush from IT Cosmetics. It is a dual-ended. This side here is going to be our bronzer. This side here is going to be our highlighter. So we're going to start out with the flat end of the brush, just above where your jawbone is. And a little bit of a curve motion, and then just up that temple. Same thing on the other side. Still using the flat end. Just tap it in once. We're going to go right along that hairline. Now we're going to use the side under the jawline. And this is going to lift under there, especially if you have a little whatever that is. It's going to hide that a little bit. Then we're going to use the side. You don't really need a full tap on this, just a little bit. I'm going to run that right alongside the nose. Now we're going to use this side here for the highlighter. For the highlighter, I am using the MAC. This is the Double Gleam Extra Dimension Skin Finish. I like this one. Has beautiful color to it. I think I've got like 6 colors. But it gives a nice, just enough sparkle, not too much. So we're going to use the flat surface of that brush right along the top of the cheek there, and then up the temple right next to your brow. This is going to lift and elevate that area a little bit. And then we're going to hit straight down the center of the face, making sure we hit that cupid's bow really good right there. That will help to give you a little bit fuller of a lip. We're going to set that brush aside and just go for a traditional blush brush. We're going to be using the Blushed Volume 4. This is from Juvia's Place. We're going to use this one here. These are very pigmented, so you literally don't need very much. Just a tap, tap, and you got enough. So we're going to go right between where the bronzer and the highlighter are, on both the temple and on the cheek. And then just a little, ooh, that was a little heavy-handed. We can brush that away later. All right, now we are going to go over our verse. So our verse is scrolling across the bottom of our screen, and our verse for this week, let me wait till it gets around. There we go. As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. That is Joshua 24:15. And now we are going to get onto our lips. So for today, I am using a very short NYX. This is the Line Loud. This is Hijacker Hottie. So whatever your lip liner is that you have, this one is, I think, just a smidge darker than my lipstick color, but about the same color. And this is sort of the same color family, almost the same color that we're going to be using in the medium shade that will be on our eyelid. So the Line Loud liners, they're a little soft, not gonna lie. Little soft. So when you go to press this on your lip, be a little gentle or it's gonna squish everywhere. All right, making sure we get a nice V going on there in that Cupid's bow. Then we're gonna line just a little lighter to the inside of that line. Let's catch the inside up on the top. That way we'll have a nice, smooth liner that will give us just a tiny bit of an ombre sort of appearance. And today I'm going to be using the, what is this? The MAC Retro Matte, and this is in the shade of Flat Out Fabulous, one of my favorites. Want to make sure that your lipstick goes just over the line that you did. We don't want to see the liner like flagging to the outside there. There we go. Take a look back, make sure that both your sides of your lips are even, that you are happy with it, and then we can move on to our next step, which is going to be our eyes. And today we're going to be using the eyeshadow palette, the new we unboxed last week. This is the Culture 2. And today we're going to be living right here with that palm kennel. That is going to be our upper lighter color. And then we're going to use Safari, and we'll be using Jollof, this right here. So that is where we are going to be visiting today. We are going to start out with an all-over shadow brush for the lighter color. This is a Love Beautifully It Cosmetics, and I don't actually see a brush. Oh, there we go. 212. Oh, it's actually an essential concealer brush. So we're just going to lightly load that, and that is going to be our lighter color up here. And then we'll put that up there on the other side as well. A little peachier than I thought it was going to be, but it'll be all right. All right. Then we are going to take this. Is actually an all-over eyeshadow brush. This is a MAC. Can't really tell the number. 280, 230, something like that. And we are going to get into the Safari. And we are going to go from the lash line all the way up to the top of the brow bone with this color. You can kind of see what I mean about not quite fuchsia, not quite a lavender. So I thought spunky lavender was a good name for this one. And we're going all the way up to that brow bone there. When you open your eye, if you have hooded eyes like I do, here's a little tip for you. When you open up your eye after you've put your eyeshadow on, you should see the shadow just peeking up. So we need to go up just a little bit higher than what we just did. So you can see it peeking up above where that fold is. See? All right, now we're gonna do that same thing on the other side. Much better to have to load your brush a couple of times than load it too much and you get a whole lot of fallout. There we go. You can see how smoothly these go on, how consistent the color is, how pigmented they are. And these just wear super well too. I've never had a problem with creasing, which is an amazing thing. Okay, we're gonna make sure we got our sides close to the same height as each other. Looks like this one needs to go up just a smidge. All right. Now I think we're actually going to need a blending middle color here. All right, so we are going to use an angled shadow brush here. And let's actually, this was not a color we talked about. Let's actually use, I'm going to blend it out with this Bintu. And we'll just give the edge of that a couple of taps in the shadow. We don't want this too heavy coated, just a little bit. And then we're going to go right over where that met the lighter color. And you're just going to blend that out a little bit. Oh yeah, that looks nice. Okay, I'm going to start in the middle and do the same thing on this side. Nice soft edge there. All right. Now there's this beautiful color called Jollof on here. And this is a glitter shimmer and will work better if you apply this with your finger. So middle finger right there on the pad. Just kind of swish it around in there. And then you're just going to tap that into place. Starting at the center. Not going across the whole lid, just right in the center there. That's so pretty. All right, once you've got the right amount of sparkle, let's continue on with our look. So we are going to be using, don't put your eyeshadow palette away just yet. We're not quite finished with that. I am going to be using the Juvia's Place. This is the Nubian eyeliner in Kajal, which is black. And we're going to use this on the top of the lid. We're just going to go from the outside corner about halfway in. There we go. And then on the bottom, let me find myself up. There we go. On the bottom, we're going to do that same thing. We're going to go from the outer corner about halfway in. You can do this as thick or as thin as you like. I kind of like it a little lighter touch on the bottom, so it's not too heavy to close the eye. We just want to give a little bit of definition to the eye, not close it up. All right. Now I told you not to put your shadows away, so let's do this. We're gonna grab a liner brush. And I think for today, we're gonna actually use the Jollof on the bottom. Let's add some sparkle on there. So we're gonna take that liner brush using that flat edge going through. Oh yeah, that's just beautiful. And then we're gonna go to that outer corner and just blend that out there. This we are gonna bring all the way to the inside. And using that liner brush, just extend that liner out. Usually I can catch that in about 3. There you go. We've got the outside, the middle, and then the inside. Usually 3 swipes will get it. And depending on, what your lower eye area looks like, you can actually go a little bit further. There we go. I like to make sure it kind of connects to that upper there. There you go. And just to make sure, well, we'll actually hit that when we do the brows. How about that? All right, so we are going to use our liquid liner. This is the Too Faced The Better Than Sex liner. This is in the black shade. They now have brown. So for those of you who like brown, yay for you. I think it's actually called chocolate. All right, so let's just line that with a gentle light liner. We're just gonna line that top lid, working from the outside corner. There we go. And the other side. All right. We're just putting a frame on those eyes. So whatever brow product you're using, hopefully it's something of good quality like Benefit or Anastasia or something. Because I have fashion colored hair, I am using the NYX Epic Wear liner, and this is in the shade Pink Spirit. So if you have cotton candy or light pink hair, feel free to try this. I think you will love it. I like for my eyebrows to match my hair, and I cannot tell you how many times I get comments and compliments about the fact that my brows actually match my hair. So I hope you have fun and do that too. We are going to line our brow following the natural line. When you use an eyeliner or a lip liner in your brows, make sure you're very gentle-handed with it because they have a tendency to be a little softer than a brow product. And so you can end up with a lot of liner product going on up there. So just be a little delicate with it until you get a feel for how that particular pencil or liner performs. A lot of times the ones that are the retractables, they tend to be a little more firm or stiff. And so you can get away with a little more pressure on there. My brows actually need to be extended just a smidge. There we go. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. And again, my girl Olivia can help you if you do not like your brow shape or you got a little bushy going on there and you need her to trim it up and get everything looking nice. She also does brow laminations, so that's awesome because if you've got wonderful brows, that will help your brows to stay in place. It's kind of like perming your brows into place. So that's a great thing. I don't have enough hair for that. But if God blessed you with hair on your brows, that is a good plan for you. Alrighty, we're just gonna make sure this one comes in the same as the other one. Take a look back, make sure you got them about even. Ta-da! Then we're gonna take our spoolie and we're gonna blend all that out together so we don't have, these funky harsh lines going on. And so that our hair is working with that brow color we just put on. All right. If you use a brow setter, this would be the place to do that right now. I don't use a brow setter because there's none of hair up there in there, but if that's what you do, pause this and just do that now. For the rest of us, we are going to go back to our brush that we used for the light color, lightly tap it into that light color, and then we're just going to come up underneath that brow line and make sure that we did not muss anything up. There you go. Just fill in there. Also a good time to just make sure your blend out is nice. Wow, totally digging that shadow color today. Very pretty. All right, you can now set your brushes aside. Now for today, I am going to be working outside a little bit, so I'm not going to be wearing any false lashes today, but what we are going to do is use one of my favorite mascaras, which is the Monsieur Big. So we are going to be using our Tarte Lash Curler again. And we are going to put that lash curler close to the skin on the lid. But once we pinch this down, we do not want it grabbing our eyelid at all. So make sure that you pull it away just a little bit so that when you clamp down, it's not going to pinch your lid. And then we're going to say the verse a couple of times. Actually, let me pull that up. There we go. So we're going to say our verse. It's a little bit of a short one this week, so we'll say it twice while we're curling. So we're going to go here, find your sweet spot. Okay, there we go. Ready? Here we go. And clamp. As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. Joshua 24:15. Do that again. As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. Joshua 24:15. Okay, and then the other side. Get it ready. Okay, once you got that ready, here we go. And clamp. As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. Joshua 24:15. And again, as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. Joshua 24:15. All right. This is the Monsieur Big, and this is the waterproof. It's the one that has the blue writing. This is one of my favorite mascaras for volume and for its waterproofness. When you put this on, this little bad boy is not going to go anywhere. It is Texas approved. It is wedding approved. It is awesome. I will tell you to get this off because it does stay so well. You're going to need a mascara remover like the Lancome Bifacil or some sort of Garnier, any micellar water, or anything specific for removing waterproof mascara, because this one does hang pretty tough. Making sure that you're back brushing on the tips there. Catching all those little fine hairs on the inside. All right. And let me pull this out over here. We're going to do a second coat on the top lash. First coat's just kind of a primer. Second coat's actually getting a little bit of volume going on. Still making sure you're hitting those tips and getting all those little hairs on the inside edge and outside edge of that lash line. All right. Now we are going to move to the bottom lash. Oh, that's always fun when you start out by touching your face. Okay, evidently I'm going to need my handheld mirror for those bottom lashes. All right, let's try that again. The bottom lashes, I usually only get one coat on there because you can get those pretty good. You want the focus to be on the top ones, not the bottom ones. So usually I just do one coat on the bottoms, and that is good enough. Looks like I got a little lash regrowth happening here, so there's kind of a void right there. Oh, come on now. I know I'm not the only one. I am definitely an eye rubber when I sleep. And so that has a tendency to happen on my bottom lashes. I don't know. I guess I rub them more than I do the top ones. Other eye rubbers among us on the call on this live I see. Okay, and now we're gonna do the third and final coat on the top. One wand in. The one side we'll do the right side, and then the other side we'll do the left side. Just kind of a partial final. There we go. Okay. And then we're going to take our, I guess, dusting brush. I don't know what you call this. Making sure we check our face, no fallout. And then we are going to say our verse one more time. So if you'll look on the bottom of your screen, is that scrolling across? There we go. As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. And that is from Joshua 24:15. So we will be working on that verse all week. Our last thing that we are going to do with our makeup today is we are going to Texas proof everything that we have just done. So this is the Urban Decay De-Slick. Urban Decay has, I think right now, 5 different setting sprays. So you choose whatever works for you. They've got their original, they've got their De-Slick, we've got the Ultra Matte, we've got the Ultra Glow. There's a Vitamin C, lots of different choices. So whatever is important to you, whatever finish you want to end up with, that's the setting spray that you're going to use. Whichever one it is, give it a couple shakes. You're going to tip your head back, let all that product fall on the face, just a couple of pumps. Fan that down until you can feel that it has dried. And now you are Texas proofed. So I just want to say thank you so much for hanging out with me today. It has been a joy to spend a little bit of time with you, enjoying Jesus, putting our makeup on together. So a little bit of makeup and a whole lot of Jesus. So whenever you are ready, come see me at our store in Midlothian, Texas. I will look forward to meeting you there. We can talk about some makeup, quiz each other on Bible verses, whatever makes you happy. And don't forget, we got that 10 times the points on foundation right now. So we are going to review our verses. So we're going to do it a little bit different this week than we've done it in weeks past. So every week I come out with different graphics, and those graphics have the verse on there. Halfway through the week, there's going to be a graphic that comes out that has like blanks, 2 different ways, blanks in the verse. So you can fill in the blank while you're watching that, just to kind of help you along in getting those verses right. So we're going to do our review by looking at those slides of the verses. So we're going to start out with episode 1. All right, that has been our episode for today. It has been, again, such a joy to hang out with you today. So let me actually go back over here, and we are going to take a look at where all these verses are coming from. They are coming from the Word and Color coloring book, and you can see that on your screen there. You can use that QR code if you'd like, or just use the link. That is an affiliate link, so it's kind of like giving me a tip when you use that. I appreciate that very much. Thank you. And then our verse that I'm going to send you off with, if I can get over there we go. Our verse that I'm going to send you off with is Numbers 6, 24 and 25. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you and give you peace. The Lord be gracious to you and lift his countenance upon you and give you peace. All righty, so let's pray us out, and then look forward to seeing you online later this week. Heavenly Father, I just thank you so much for those who have joined me today in person and those who will watch this later on, maybe today, next week, whenever. Father, I just pray that you would help them to memorize these verses, that they would have them and treasure them in their heart, Father, that they would be part of the armor of God, that we would prepare ourselves for the day every single day. Father, I just thank you for each one of these individuals, and I pray that you would give them a special blessing this week. In Jesus' name, amen. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with me. It was an exciting time being here with you. Goodbye. God bless.